This is the TM 10 Minute Talk podcast. I'm your host, Elijah Gibbs. Here, we challenge modern axioms, beliefs, and ideas. We also may provide solutions and answer questions. Now, if you have a question, you can submit one at transgressivemodernity@gmail.com. There is now a comment section where you can leave a comment if you would like. First, let me start off by saying thank you to everyone who's reached out, everyone who's gotten in touch with me. I thank you all for the viewership and the support and everything. It means a lot. They haven't got me yet. The cryptocracy has not Canadian healthcared me yet. I'm thankful for that. Thankful to God. As you all know, my flagship podcast, Transgressive Modernity, a lot of research goes into that. Those are usually quite lengthy. I wanted to do something that I could do more consistently, and here we are. Something shorter that would not require as much research, and so this is what we came up with. This is how it's going to be for a while. So I plan on doing this weekly, but as you all know, this is a free podcast, no sponsors, no nothing. So I reserve the right to change my mind at any time about anything that comes out of my mouth. Just don't tell my parole officer. Anyways, for this episode, I wanted to talk about the election, and I wanted to make my prediction. And there I was, fully prepared, mentally at least, to get up here and make a prediction. And just yesterday, news comes out, Hamas leader killed. And guess who was up taking credit for it as if she was over there delivering the final blow? Kamala Harris. She got up there, took credit for it. And here I was, just about to predict that Trump was going to full sweep, full clear. I'm talking chips to the table, money where my mouth is. I was about to push all my chips to the table and make a bet on Trump to win this election, run away with it. As much as you can, they're always close. And then she did that. Well, she didn't do that. She took credit for that. Now, without giving away my ultimate pick, I was hours away from getting on here and putting up a recording where I had planned to mention the fact that if and only if the cryptocracy wanted to ensure victory by Kamala Harris, I thought for sure they would have some sort of resolution in Gaza. Some sort of resolution in Gaza. And I've been thinking this since before President Biden and her have been at odds a little bit. So this was before then, where I'm thinking if they wanted to ensure victory, and if they really wanted to make her the president, they would have some sort of resolution in Gaza. Now, the leader has been killed, and we have a couple weeks before the election. What do we make of all this? To the conspiracy crowd, maybe they saw this coming. At the very least, if she wins, they're going to think that they predicted it based off the history that's been set. If you take a look at each election, especially re-elections, something major just seems to happen right before the election that sways things in somebody's favor. The example that comes to mind immediately is Barack Obama. When it was time for him to get reelected, what happened? His numbers were looking kind of shaky. He wasn't doing very popular. He wasn't very popular at the time until what happened? We got Osama bin Laden, and I get to take credit for it. Now, my reelection is all but guaranteed. So this is nothing new. If she wins, this is nothing new, but I don't have that foresight yet. I don't have the knowledge of what's going to happen in the future yet. But I guarantee you talk to people after the fact and they're going to say, "Oh, I saw this coming. I saw this coming a mile away." No, you didn't. Because you don't know the future. Just stop it. Get help. You don't know the future. And so I'm not going to feel one way or the other about being wrong or right. I have no skin in the game. And a big reason I have to pump the brakes on what I hear a lot of conservative minds saying is because, unlike what Kamala is trying to do and what a lot of conservatives are trying to do as well, I don't give her credit for the last 3.5 years. She gets very little credit from me for the last three and a half years. Why does she want to take credit? I really don't know. It's been a disaster. I don't know why. And I also don't know why conservatives are moving the goalpost and treating vice presidents as if they are equal to presidents. They're just not. They're just not. We've never held someone to that standard. And so it's very weird to me. It's weird that she would want to take credit for this disaster, and it's weird that we attribute it to what her next 4 years will be like. They're going to be two completely different disasters if she wins. Let's just say what it is. The vice president is a glorified public figure, just like a celebrity. More of a puppet than the actual president. The VP's primary job is to break ties and to assume authority if something should happen to the active president. And so just because she copies off of somebody's policy or keeps the current president's policies on the book does not give me an indication of what their presidency is going to be like. So I'm not doing that, and that's not up for argument for me. And knowing the VP's purpose makes it all the more alarming who they decided to give that position to. A woman should not be vice president. I don't care how anybody feels. Don't care. Women should not be VP because their the sole purpose of their job is to assume authority at the presidential position if necessary. And a woman shouldn't be president. So what are we doing? Why would you want a woman to be the head of the military? There's no excuse. No excuse. The troops are not going to respect it. Foreign nations, foreign governments, foreign leaders are not going to respect it. I don't care what anybody says. It's not about feeling, it's about fact. And think about this, men that are out there. Who would you feel more comfortable sending and drafting you to war? Because that is something that a president would have to do, might have to do, and historically has had to do. So let me ask you this. Would you rather a man or a woman? Case closed. Case closed. Enough. So throw every policy away, throw every monetary, economic, anything, any proposal, any petition to Congress, anything, I don't care. Throw all of the beliefs, everything out there. Do you want a man or a woman to send you to war? Matter of fact, the only question, do we have a competent man that can fill the position? If the answer is yes, there's nothing else to talk about. Do I like Biden? Do I think he is a good president? No. And the numbers suggest it. They scream it. Is he a competent enough man to fill the position? He was. He no longer is. His mental capacity is gone. But he was, as long as they gave him his proper medication. And I don't know why a woman would even want that position. You're telling me you want to be commander-in-chief of the Army, of the U.S. Army, and you're a woman. Let's just stop it. This is the last thing I'm going to say on this. Let's just do the eye test. Let's just do the eye test. Everybody can do this. Close your eyes and picture an attack on American soil. All right? Now, picture a president who has to lead a response to that attack. A swift response. Are you seeing Kamala Harris with a swift response? Is that what you're picturing? Me neither. Case closed. She gets in, no one will respect us. I wouldn't respect us either. I don't even know how we could let a woman be head of Secret Service. Who thought that was a good idea? One of the most important jobs we have in this country. Something that requires a man's man. Preferably someone with military experience. Someone who can respond quickly and decisively. Why did anybody think it was a good idea to have a woman in that position? But as I'm saying it out loud and hearing myself, I don't think anybody did. But, Joe Biden's got to do his DEI hires. But who cares? It's only one of the most important positions. It's not like somebody could almost get assassinated over it. And here's the thing, ladies. I know you can do everything that a man can do. I know that. Almost. But that was never the question. Should you be doing it? That's the real question. Answer is no. I know my lady can drive us to the store. She can hold the door open. But that's not her job. It's never going to be her job. So she's not doing it. I know a 9-year-old kid might be able to babysit a 4-year-old if necessary. But should it happen? Probably not. So although I feel very strongly about this, it's very hard for me to see why it won't end up being Kamala to win the presidential election. With this news and her taking credit for easing tensions in Gaza, with the backing of every celebrity, with the backing of every news outlet that I've seen, with Trump's own former staff selling him out and throwing him under the bus, everything seems to be going in her favor. I mean, you have people saying that if Trump wins, it's going to be a civil war. A civil war? Truly, it is very hard for me to see Trump's path to victory. Which is why it's going to feel oh so sweet when T Glock comes in and steals this election. I predict a clean sweep by T Glock, Donald Trump himself, to steal and win this election. I don't want to say steal because, but I predict Trump will inevitably ultimately win this election. And I know there's talking civil war, but they said that the first time he won, society was fine. So let's stop it. T Glock all the way. I mean, pick your category, pick your poison, pick your pleasure. What category does he not clear in? He clears in every category. Everyone, even personality. Imagine that Trump beats somebody in the personality category, but he does. I predict a market correction in the other direction. It's been way too bad these 4 years. Oh my God. And as I spoke about in my Transgressive Modernity podcast, Trump cannot save the Democratic Party. All the legal troubles they put him through, all the nonsense, the racism, all the just bilge. It's not going to save the Democratic Party from themselves. We are witnessing the Democratic Party continually shoot themselves in the foot every time she talks, every press conference. I see news media outlets panicking, pretending like they're victory lapping. They're not. Black people are finally waking up. I know I predicted a recession some time ago, and I believe by definition we were in one. I also believe that a larger one is inevitable due to what the Fed has done with interest rates, the effect of which may be seen as early as January. And I hope I'm wrong, but trust me, if Kamala gets in, the response is going to be bad, and it could be worse than anyone has predicted. She's doing that thing again where the Democratic Party is making all these promises about giving out student loan forgiveness with no approval yet. And as I spoke about, we know what that does to the markets. They react to any little news. She needs to stop doing it, but, she keeps doing it. And if she wins, the markets are going to react, as they always do. But little changes for me. My faith is in God, not in man. I pray yours is too. I know I've been away for some time. I'm just a man. I got to take care of the family. The less you hear my voice, the more I'm getting to it. And with that said, I conclude this episode. Guys, leave a comment. Give me a follow. Till next time, God bless.